Hello, and welcome to Owlvideogaming. Today I'm going to be talking about the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, I wanted to have this episode uploaded earlier, but I ran into some problems. If you really want to know, I'll have it in the description below. But now, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It was originally released in Japan in 1990 as the Super Famicom, then in North America in 1991 as the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and then in Europe in 1992 and in South America in 1993, also as the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, interestingly, originally Nintendo wasn't interested in developing a more powerful console to succeed the NES. They didn't see the point. NES sales were going strong. But they reconsidered when they saw Sega and NEC taking over the market with their 16-bit consoles, the Megadrive/Genesis and the TurboGrafx-16/PCengine respectively. So, Nintendo developed the SNES, which, in the end, despite its relatively late start, was the best-selling console of the 16-bit era. It blew away the competition. It was technically superior in almost every way, and its first and third-party support with the amazing games just blew everything away. So, it even remained popular well into the 32-bit era, and remains popular nowadays among retro gamers such as myself. So, now, onto the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. So, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, if you look at the console's design, it's not as flashy or as cool looking as the Sega Megadrive/Genesis, but you can see that they did make an effort to make it more streamlined and less bulky than the NES. So on the front here, there's two controller ports, and at the back, there's the socket for the power and for the video feed. On the face of it, there's the power switch that actually clicks in place. Take note, Sega. There's a reset button, which is rather large and easy to press. Take note, Sega. And there's an eject button to eject a cartridge when you're done, so you don't have to pull it out. Take note, Sega. So, now it is a bit grey and a little dull looking, but interestingly, the North American design was, although it was boxier, it was brighter, being mostly white but with purple switches. So, the controller. Now then, compared to the NES controller, this has 4 more inputs. It's more comfortable to hold. And comparing now to the Sega Megadrive/Genesis controller, it again has more inputs and is, in my opinion, more comfortable to hold. Where the Sega Genesis controller had 3 face buttons, the A button, the B button, and the C button, this has 4, the A button, the B button, the Y button, and the X button, and it has 2 shoulder buttons, the L and R buttons. Also, it has a select button, whereas the Sega Megadrive/Genesis only had a start button. So, modern gamers have the Super Nintendo to thank for a lot. Shoulder buttons, and the trend of having 4 face buttons. So, the cartridge. So, though this is bulkier than the Sega Megadrive/Genesis cartridges, it is smaller and less obtrusive than the NES cartridges. But interestingly, the European and Japanese ones didn't have an end label, while the North American ones did. So what, were the Americans getting preferential treatment? Damn you, Nintendo. Well, anyway, the cartridge goes in this way, and when you're done. So, this is Super Metroid, which is the game that I'll be playing now. So, the game. After an intro like that, you know this game's serious. So, after a major boss fight you're completely unprepared for, you suddenly have to rush out of the station as it explodes. After that awesome first act, you have to fight and solve your way through a massive maze of a game with an absolutely gigantic map. You collect upgrades and go from nothing to an almost unstoppable force before you're ready for the final act. You become a missile-firing, power-bombing, grapple-hooking, X-ray visioning badass. This game is truly amazing and showcases the power of the Super Nintendo, graphically and otherwise. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It is considered by many to be one of the best games of all time, and it's way better than anything the competition had. So, that was the Super Nintendo, a truly amazing console that has changed the future of gaming, because Nintendo had to relax some of their policies on third-party developers, because the Sega Megadrive / Genesis had already been out for a while and had attracted a lot of developers and good games. So Nintendo couldn't have policies like they used to with the NES that required things like games staying exclusive to Nintendo platforms for 2 years. That was frankly ridiculous at this point. So this started a trend which continues to this day, with games releasing for several platforms simultaneously. So next time, I'm going to be directly comparing the Super Nintendo and the Sega Megadrive / Genesis, and talking about what's better at what, and so on and so forth, and giving you my opinion on which is the best. But for now, thanks for watching, like and subscribe if you feel like it, and goodbye.